So very fond of luxury that my only problem is poverty. And I tried to concentrate on the good side of things. So although Beth cried secretly because she couldn't afford piano lessons or have a fine piano, I would say you would be proud to know that Beth plays on that jangling old instrument of ours for Meg's students every day and practices by herself afterwards. And then, I would wait until a problem had passed before I mentioned it. Yes, I did that with Amy giving up her wood sketching. I wrote something like this. Amy has been given a set of oil paints and has given up wood sketching, thank heavens. We were all in fear of fire with her running from the fireplace all over the house with burning pokers to burn pictures in the wood panels and the doors. I think her only complaint about oil painting is she thinks she's getting a wrinkle over her nose from trying to see the pictures come alive with all that squint and string business. And I never mentioned Joe's temper. I concentrated on her writing efforts. I'd remind him, you remember Joe's scribbling suit, the dark one that doesn't show when she wipes her pen on it, and the cap with the red bow? Well, that cap is still our beacon. When it's low on her brow, we know there's hard work going on and no one should bother her. And, of course, I ended each letter with warm assurances of our overflowing love. As Father, dear heart, always wrote to us, give them all my love and a kiss. Tell them I think of them by day and pray for them at night. And remind them that while we wait for one another, we may work so the days may not be wasted.
WNBC TV, New York.
Oh, boy, is that an ugly thing. Wow, I see an ugly, but that's ugly.
For every woman who's known the embarrassment of stockings that never quite made it, Burlington Cameo introduces Loop the Loop. Stretch stockings knitted with little loops that loop onto flat little clasps that clasp onto most any girdle you own, with no bulgy girdle gap, no ugly garter bump.
Boy, is that beautiful, huh?
The loop top stocking. It takes up where other stockings leave off. Your legs will never blush again.
A lot of people think you can't put carpets in certain places because carpets can't take certain things. Well, a lot of people are wrong. Lee's now has carpets you can put any place. Carpets so dense that dirt is easy to wipe up. Carpets so tough they can take all the abuse hard floors can without being hard on people. But tough as they are, they're still carpets, which means no mopping, no waxing, and all the elegance of a Lee's carpet. And you can have that elegance outdoors, too. Lee's has a new carpet, Bright Forecast, which is at home anywhere. We call all of these carpets soft, hard floors because they're hard enough to make your life softer.
Lee's Carpets, just one part of Burlington Industries. If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it at Burlington, and we do more of it than anyone in the world.
As I've been thinking about those days when my girls were growing up, something has occurred to me. I wonder if you've noticed it too. Think back over the last year, for example. Can you remember some special thing happening that changed the way you thought about something or the way you acted? During that long winter when we were away from Father, each of my girls had just such an experience, one that helped her take a giant step toward becoming a more mature and attractive young lady. I think Amy learned a lot about not showing off when her teacher disciplined her about breaking one of his rules. Although, mind you, I don't approve of physical discipline. At any rate, it seems that Mr. Davis had outlawed gum, note passing, and pickled limes from his classroom. Pickled limes were all the rage in those days. And Amy not only was late to class, but she deliberately showed off a bag of pickled limes that she was smuggling in to share with them. When Mr. Davis found out, he lived up to his rules. He struck her hand with a ruler, and my proud and sensitive Amy suffered a humiliation neither she nor I will ever forget. Until much later that Amy could laugh about that day that Joe remarked, "You showed off, Amy, and it wasn't proper. No more than it's proper to wear all your bonnets and gowns at once to let folks know you got 'em." Well, these experiences may seem silly to you, but they were terribly serious to my girls and often painful. Well, you can imagine being laughed at when you thought you looked perfectly elegant. Well, that happened to Meg at the Vanity Ball. We couldn't afford a new gown. And she let two of her wretched girlfriends dress her up in their things and frizzle her hair, trim her with jewelry. Well, no one danced with her, not even Laurie. He didn't recognize her. And when he did, he said, I like you, fine, but I don't like your fuss and feathers. I know Meg has never forgotten that night, and to this day has tried to look and be herself. But I think it was Joe's experience that was the most painful, because it wasn't until she had lost something very dear to her, or almost lost it, her sister Amy, that she learned to control her temper. Oh, it started innocently enough when Joe and Laurie refused to take Amy to the theater with them. And although the red imps dancing on the stage entertained Joe, they reminded her of a little imp, Amy, at home. And I'm afraid with good reason. To make Joe sorry for leaving her all alone, Amy had burned Joe's book that she'd been writing so lovingly. Oh, that was quite a day.